Hey, Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons just got divorced or broken up, whatever you want to call it. This all started back when they was in Bali hiding out for the Young Dolph situation, and the feds pulled up because they was looking for Yo Gotti because Black Youngster's brother just got hit up. I want everybody to know we rocking with Young Dolph. Put the dolphin emojis in the comment section. If you rock with Young Dolph, let me know where y'all from. This whole reason about Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons is just because of the fact that Jay-Z's selling CMG right now. And the only reason why they're doing that is because the Rico's coming. And this is why Angela Simmons' rent for $50,000, it was never paid. And Yo Gotti didn't want to put up any money because that's not his baby mama. Yo Gotti's baby mama got into it with Angela Simmons, and this is the only reason why everything is actually falling apart right now. I told y'all the karma for Young Dolph and the way that he was set up at that cookie shop was going to come back to get them, man. And this only goes back to 2021 going on. Now it's almost 2024. So they had 3 solid years that CMG was on the run. Yo Gotti was on the run with Angela Simmons. They thought they was going to get married and live happily ever after, but the reality hit. Everybody knows at the end of the day that they never was going to last because of the fact that Angela Simmons' uncle got all the bread. He got more bread than Yo Gotti, and he's on Jay-Z's side. So whatever Jay-Z said, Yo Gotti got to do. And this is the fact of the matter that this whole thing goes back to the karma of Young Dolph. They should have never set him up because everybody knows that Yo Gotti and Young Dolph, the beef started over the baby mama. And so you see how now Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons' relationship can't work out, all because of the fact that Yo Gotti pushed the issue and wanted to beef with Young Dolph all over the female that Young Dolph didn't even, he's not the one that approached her. She approached him. Just because Yo Gotti's baby mama hit Young Dolph up in the DMs doesn't mean that it was Young Dolph's fault. It was Yo Gotti's fault. The fact that she was choosing, he let her go and have all that free reign, and she's hitting up dudes left and right under his nose, behind closed doors, behind his back. And this is just something that happens all the time. But the fact that the Young Dolph got hit up like that and that they had to do something to take it to that extent, they were wrong for that because Young Dolph, he was a legend in his city, man. He's the king of Memphis, and everybody knows this. If y'all think Young Dolph is the king of Memphis, I want you to put the Dolph emoji in the comment section and put the 222s because everybody knows at this point that there was a lot more people who's rocking with Young Dolph than they was rocking with PRE. And now you see the whole situation with Yo Gotti and Jay-Z feuding, and Angela Simmons want to break up because she knows Russell Simmons is going to be mad at her if she stick around with him. This is why Yo Gotti didn't actually up the bread to pay her. He was not a sugar daddy to Angela Simmons, and this is why their relationship got rocky. Everybody expects that whole entire thing was that the rapper who's rich is supposed to pay for his girls everything. And so the thing is that she got more money. And the reason why they even hooked up was a mystery in the first place, man. I want you guys to understand that this whole thing is a distraction from the fact that they need to get justice for Young Dolph right now, man. And the whole thing about this is that CMG is supposed to have a Rico done on them, and they thought they was comfortable enough to go hide in Bali, Cancun. Black Youngster already sent threats to Yo Gotti. This is why he got kicked off of CMG. This is why they all was mad about, okay, Angela Simmons is coming to the picture because she's now owning half of CMG. When they break up, Angela Simmons is going to get Yo Gotti's house, his cars, CMG, the chains, and everything like that. And this is a strategic thing. They playing this whole thing out to take Yo Gotti down from the inside out, man. This is why you cannot trust everybody, man. And that the feds, they're not playing around. They got a 99% success rate, and they're going to find out exactly who was the head honcho boss man from the higher up bosses that sent the hit down to Young Dolph. Just like how they taking out a lot of rappers, man. It all started with the fact that Young Dolph, he was actually doing it big in his city, giving back, doing the turkey drives and the pack drives. So when they knew he was going to come back on November 17th to do that turkey drive and actually try to give back again, he was supposed to do the music video at the cookie shop. This is when Maurice Hill and everybody, they got together and they had them red aprons on inside the shop. This is why Maurice tried to say that he pulled up in the Lincoln after the fact, but he was already in there, man. Everybody knows for a fact that Raven said her and her mom was the ones who opened the doors of the cookie shop at 9 a.m. sharp. And then Young Dolph allegedly walked in not too late after that, man. RIP to Young Dolph. This was a tragedy because everything that's being like actually it was swept under the rug. They tried not to let the forensics in there. They said it would happen in that back hallway, but then they changed it to the bathroom. Then they changed it to the lobby. How come Raven did that interview when she said she wasn't there? But whatever she described, it sounded like she was on the phone with Maurice. He picked Dolph up and said, "Stay with me, Dolph. Stay with me, Dolph." You can't make that up. This is the reason why the karma is all unfolding and unwinding down on them, because at the end of the day, the people inside the cookie shop know for a fact that Young Dolph was in there for a long time. That U-Haul that they used, everything from that address they changed, Big Moochie Grape, Young Dolph tried to call him like 77 times. It was the exact words out of his mouth when Big Moochie Grape got pressed in that interview. He thought that interview was going to be sweet, but the girl, she was already on him, knowing that Young Dolph got set up and that his name kept popping up. His name was the last people that Young Dolph called with Snoop bands. When they went through Young Dolph's phones, it was so hard to find it because one of his phones was missing. And the fact that they had a shoe in the parking lot of the Ruth Chris, everything started at the Ruth Chris. When they actually took that last picture with Young Dolph and he was wearing that yellow shirt with the blue jeans and the hat on and everything like that. Man, this is when it all unfolded. They threw him in the back of that truck and then tried to switch him in the U-Haul last minute, try to make it so that it looked like he was going to the turkey drive, but that U-Haul ended up in Big Moochie Grape's hood. That interview he did where they took his keys and his car being parked like that and the things being in the trunk. Remember that Chrome Heart bag that he had? Young Dolph had a lot of money they was trying to take from him. He actually had the big safe inside the manager's office of the cookie shop. The word on the street is he was coming down there to pull out $200,000 out of that safe. And the fact that they didn't want to they owed him so much bread, but they fumbled the bag. This is why they took all them business loans that came out, just like everybody else. They was hungry too, man. And this whole situation got worse when Young Dolph walked up in the back of that cookie shop and he seen the fact that his money was missing and that they owed him so much bread. He was coming to pick up the profit for the year because he was actually supposed to turn the cookie shop into a skyscraper building. Young Dolph's real estate was going crazy at that time. He had all these houses and millions of dollars. Word on the street is he had over 100 M's in 1 year. And this is why a lot of people was jealous. They was greedy and envious of the fact that they didn't attain and get to that level, man. Gotti, he got passed up by Young Dolph in a matter of just a couple of years. And you know that there was beef and putting the whole entire disses on every song, and it got bigger and bigger. This whole thing ended up to the fact that they actually even tried to hit up Dolph back in Charlotte with the 100 shots, and guess whose name got popped up and turned himself in for actually being the hitman? Black Youngster. And now that Black Youngster actually got kicked out of CMG, he moved on. Now that his brother got hit up, and he said he wants that revenge from that situation, man. He's coming to Memphis. He's going to be looking for Yo Gotti, Moneybag Yo. Anybody that looked at him funny, anybody that did him wrong, man, he's going to have him turn into lunch meat, man. And this is the reason why everybody got to be careful out there. Memphis is still like a war zone, one of the most dangerous cities out there. And being a rapper is one of the most dangerous jobs that you could have right now. And this whole thing goes back to the fact that Young Dolph, he got hit up in his own city. He came back trying to give love, and the love wasn't there, man. They was all hating on him to the point that they actually put together a plan. It was people saying they got pictures and videos of the back of the Privé restaurant where Yo Gotti's mom got that restaurant. And it was everybody from CMG, everybody that had beef with Young Dolph was in there the night before, man. And before this whole thing went down, that's not just a coincidence that they actually was sitting there plotting on Young Dolph for the longest time. They knew how they was going to do this. The cookie shop just got brand new cameras, but they don't want to up the footage. That footage is going to get subpoenaed. They try to damage the hard drives and throw the computers away. This is the reason why Big Jook's office at the CMG headquarters got raided back in January. And everything that they found, they had enough reason, probable cause, to actually take him in and question him. This is why Big Jook was locked up for the whole beginning of this year. As soon as they let him out, they got Govan Hernandez. Then as soon as he got let out, they hit up Govan's daughter. And this all ties back to actual CMG TZ, CEO TZ, all Casino Jizzle, Moneybag Yo's cousin. Everybody got hit up because the actual reasoning is because that they had something to do and was tied back to the people that hit up Dolph. And everybody they was actually sliding for Dolph out there, man. I want you guys to know, if you rocking with Young Dolph, put the dolphin emoji in the comment section, because everybody got to understand that the justice for Dolph is coming. This trial is about to start. A lot of the witnesses, they coming out of the woodworks. The people that's going to testify, the name is written on the list. We're going to get the list of the people who have testimonies that are going to be sitting on the stand, actually testifying to the jury about what they know about CMG, Yo Gotti, and the Young Dolph setup. And so you got to understand, man, this whole entire thing is like a big revolving door situation, in that they know for a fact that the justice for Young Dolph is going to be served. And the people that did this to him, they're going to end up going and being put away for a very long time. And they're going to be sitting there thinking they should have never ever mess with Young Dolph, because they know for a fact that the karma was going to get them in the long run, no matter how they look at it. Young Dolph brother is still in witness protection. They holding him up there until the trial is over, because Young Dolph brother was the only person in the cookie shop that was actually on Young Dolph's side that seen what happened. Everybody else, they actually riding with CMG. Everybody in the cookie shop, you got to understand, Raven already gave the drop on them. She snitched on everybody in the cookie shop by saying that she pledged her allegiance to CMG. She wanted to be a manager for CMG. She wanted to work with Yo Gotti. She had her 901 Trigger Trade artist. He was trying to get signed to CMG. So that ties back the whole entire cookie shop to actually working with Yo Gotti in the first place. So Young Dolph brother, he's going to have a very strong testimony, and his statements and witness testimony is actually going to be the one thing that carries the justice for Young Dolph on his back. He knows he's going to want to get back for his brother. He knows he wants revenge, but this whole entire case lays on Young Dolph brother's head, because he's the one that actually was in there. He can't get caught with double jeopardy because he busted the Draco and self-defense running at that shop, because he thought that the people was still a threat at that point. You got to understand how the Tennessee laws work. The DA said that they're not going to actually try to go after charges on Young Dolph brother, because they put him in the back of that MPD SUV and no one ever seen him since that day. And the fact that Maurice, he was the one that even pointed his finger at Young Dolph. He said the guy in the dreads was the one who was up the Draco and blew it down the street in the sidewalk at the white car. And this is the reason why they went up to him and said, hey, you still on the scene. Were you the one with the Draco in the backpack on the ADT security footage? Because the MPD, the forensics team, they went inside the cookie shop. They looked at the computers and saw the footage with their own eyes. This is how that screenshot came out about with the two dudes in the gray sweatpants. One of the guys had a black Bass Pro Shop hat. He looked exactly like one of the dudes that was rocking with CMG. They said that same guy was in one of the CMG videos. They said that same car was in Straight Drop's video at the same exact house that they actually dumped it off at. This whole thing is connected and goes back to the point that Yo Gotti, Moneybagg Yo, Black Youngster, Big Jook, and Govan, they're the main guys in this. They're the main players in this, and this is who they're going to go after for the Rico, because at the end of the day, they have to actually set an example and get the justice for Young Dolph, because the whole entire thing is going to come back to haunt them when they don't do that, because they know for a fact that Memphis is dependent on them to get and find the people who did this to Young Dolph, or else they're going to run that town rampant. They don't want the people who's actually out in the streets, they don't want them taking over. People got to go to school. People got to walk into the stores and everything like that. So they don't want the Memphisian citizens to have to worry anymore. They need the superhero to come in and get the justice for Young Dolph. And if y'all agree, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.